All right, welcome to this explainer, where we are going to break down the exact mathematical reality of retiring in just 1 decade. For so long, we've all been handed the exact same script, right? Work for 40 years, save a tiny bit on the side, and eventually, when you're older, you finally get to live. But what if we actually challenge that? Let's go ahead and skip the 40-year grind, run the actual math, and see exactly how this is done. Now, you hear a 10-year timeline and probably think, yeah, right, absolute fairy tale. Most people instantly dismiss it. They think it's some Wall Street trick or that you need millions of dollars just to get started. But the truth is entirely different. The answer actually lies in plain math, clear trade-offs, and some serious discipline. It's not about magic. It's simply about understanding the mechanics of how money actually works over a focused decade. Section 1. Redefining wealth. Time over jets. Before we even look at the numbers, we really need to redefine what early retirement actually means. When people hear the word, they immediately picture traditional wealth, yachts, private jets, tens of millions sitting in the bank. But hey, we aren't aiming for that. We're aiming for time wealth. We're aiming for a realistic system that generates around $3,000 a month, that is $36,000 a year of purely passive income to buy back your time, your freedom, and absolute control over how you spend your day. Section 2. The mechanics of growth and theft. Compounding versus inflation. To pull this off in a single decade, you absolutely have to understand compounding and the silent forces that try to steal your money. Think of your investments literally like planting a tree. In year 1, it's tiny, it's fragile, and it gives absolutely zero fruit. You're watering it, and honestly, it feels painfully slow. But if you just push through, look at year 5. The branches are really spreading out. And by year 10, boom, it explodes with growth, providing shade and feeding you without any effort. The real trick here is just surviving those quiet, boring early years. But you can't just trust the glossy brochures to make that tree grow. Let's say you see an investment advertising an 8% expected market return. Sounds fantastic, right? Well, unfortunately, that is an incomplete picture. Here's the harsh reality. You've got silent thieves picking your pocket. Step 1, you have to subtract roughly 3% right off the top, because inflation is quietly stealing your purchasing power every single year. Step 2, knock off another 1% for taxes cutting into your returns. And step 3, subtract 0.5% for the fees that just drag you down. You have to factor all of this in over that entire decade. So suddenly that awesome 8%, it shrinks to a 3.5% real return. And this right here is the crucial point. Real return is what is left over after inflation, taxes, and fees. It's the actual money you will have to live on, and understanding this difference is what separates a nice financial dream from reality. Section 3. Investment vehicles compared. Where to put $1,500 a month. Since real returns matter so much, let's see what happens if you invest $1,500 a month for 10 years across different vehicles. Put it in high-yield savings or bonds, you might get 5% nominally, leaving you with about $175,000 in real buying power. That's not enough to retire on. What about REITs, real estate investment trusts? They yield 4 to 6% plus inflation, bringing you up to maybe $280 to $300,000. That starts to cover some serious expenses, sure. But broad market index funds, generating a 10% nominal or 7% real return, push you well over $340,000. That is the engine that gets you closest to our freedom goal. Okay, Section 4, the big reveal. The magic number for freedom. So, the big question, exactly how much do you actually need saved up overall? And exactly how much do you need to invest every single month to hit that $3,000 a month target in just 10 years? Well, to figure this out, we use the safe withdrawal rate. This is generally accepted as 4%. Basically, it's the percentage you can safely take out of your portfolio each year in retirement without running out of money. To generate $36,000 a year, our $3,000 a month goal, this 4% rule shows us the exact mountain we need to climb. Do the math, and you need a portfolio of exactly $900,000 saved up to comfortably generate that $3,000 a month. Forever. I know, it sounds like a massive mountain, doesn't it? And here's a raw, unfiltered truth. To build up $900,000 in just 10 years, assuming that 7% real return, pure math dictates you need to invest about $5,500 a month. Honestly, that sounds completely insane to most people. It feels totally out of reach, and that is exactly why so many just dismiss a 10-year retirement offhand. But hold on, don't panic just yet. We aren't done. Section 5, The levers of hope, making the impossible possible. If the idea of investing $5,500 a month feels like a prison sentence, you actually have two massive levers you can pull to bring it down into realistic territory. Lever number one is lifestyle deflation. Look, if you absolutely need a $3,000 a month lifestyle, then yeah, you need a $900K portfolio. But what if you can comfortably live on $2,000 a month? Suddenly, your required portfolio shrinks to $600,000. Go extremely lean, down to $1,500 a month, and you only need $450,000. Lowering your expenses just completely rewires the math in your favor. Lever number two is income growth. Remember, you aren't permanently locked into your current salary. You can build new skills, you can change jobs, or you can start a side hustle. Actually, the source material specifically highlights starting a YouTube channel as a really powerful example of a side hustle that can automatically fund these aggressive investments. When you use a secondary income stream exclusively for investing, your timeline just shrinks incredibly fast. So here's the real game changer. By pulling these levers, lowering your expenses, or aggressively raising your income, your true required monthly investment to retire in a decade drops down to somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000. Now, is it an uncomfortable number? Yes, for sure. But is it achievable? Absolutely. It shifts from feeling literally impossible to being a definitive conscious choice. Section 6. The psychology of consistency. Math is easy. Behavior is hard. Hitting this goal isn't just a math equation. It is fundamentally a behavioral challenge. Your psychology and your consistency are your greatest assets here. Because if you rely on sheer willpower or motivation to invest thousands of dollars every month, you are going to fail. Motivation inevitably fades when life gets distracting, when temptations pop up, or when the markets inevitably crash. To survive this 10-year sprint, you absolutely must build an automated financial system. Set up automatic transfers straight from your paycheck. Reinvest your dividends automatically. Remove every single piece of friction you can. Pretend your side hustle income doesn't even exist and funnel the whole shebang straight into your investments. You want a system that doesn't blink, doesn't get scared, and just ruthlessly executes the plan for you every single month. And let me tell you, the reward for that automation is absolutely staggering. The first half of the decade, yeah, it's a grind. It's the hardest part because you are carrying all the load. But right around year 7, something magical happens. The snowball really rolls downhill. The portfolio starts creating significant income on its own. And by year 10, your investments are officially working harder than you are. Escaping that traditional 40-year path means you have to accept one hard truth. Freedom has a cost. Every single dollar you spend today on something you don't truly need is basically removing a brick from the foundation of your future freedom. It demands serious discipline right now and a whole lot of delayed gratification. Look, whether it takes you 10, 12, or even 15 years, the only real way out of the traditional grind is through sheer consistency. The timeline might be negotiable, but the process definitely is not. So I want you to ask yourself, one day, 10 years from right now, you are going to look back. Will you wish you had started planting your seeds today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep building, and I'll catch you next time.